Now that we have the basic forms for the body of our character, let's make sure that everything is proportioned. The first thing that we need to do is we need to attach these first, because we might have to move some things around. Maybe we might want to shorten or lengthen the arm, or maybe make the leg shorter and the feet have to move with it. And yeah, we need to go ahead and combine these right now. Just the body. As far as the head goes, we could just leave it as a separate mesh for now, because we are going to make duplicate copies of this, and I'll show you why in a minute. All right, so let's go and select all parts of our body, and hands and feet, and Control J to make them together. And looking at this, I feel like the arms is a little too short for my taste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my sculpt mode, and I'm going to just unmask this. I'm going to go to my grab brush, and I'm going to go ahead and just move this down. But before I move it down, I want to go ahead and just mask the body so I know I'm not touching this middle part of the body. So just adjusting the arm here. I want to just kind of bring it down a bit. And I want to increase my brush size. Yeah. And I think I want to crank up the strength a bit. All right, there you go. All right, yeah, something like that. Yeah, I felt like it was a little short. Okay, so unmask that. Okay, so I think that will do. Okay, now the guide that we're going to use to make sure that this is proportion is we're going to be using Andrew Loomis head proportion here. So if you guys go to google.com and just type in Andrew Loomis 7.5 head proportion, you're going to find this photo right here. And this is a good photo. You could just like save it on your computer. I can't really distribute this because this is not my property. So, but you guys could go ahead and find it yourself. All right. So there are different types of proportion here. We have the normal, which is 7.5 heads high. We have the idealistic, 8 heads high, fashion, 8.5, and we have heroic, 9 heads. The one that we're going to be doing is the 9 heads high, okay? Because our orc is pretty beastie and he's out of this world, and he's going to be really big, and so to make him look more powerful, we're going to make him heroic. So we're going to go with the 9 heads. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to check to make sure that everything is aligning within the 9 heads. So what I mean by that is, let's say this head right here, we have the first head is aligning from the top of the head onto the chin, of course, and then the second head should be aligning. We're going to make a copy of our character's head, and we're gonna, when we make a copy, that second copy should align from the chin and onto just right above the nipple. All right, you can see the nipple here right above it. And then we're gonna make a third head, and the third head should align from the top here onto maybe right below the so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 pack, right, the 4th pack. All right, right below the 4th pack. And then the 4th head should be from that area on to right at the beginning of the pubic area. And then the 5th head should be right below the pubic area. Not really in the middle of the thigh, slightly above right here, okay? And then the 6th head is going to be from here on to slightly above the knee area. And then the 7th head is going to be from above here onto below the knee area. And then the 8th head is going to be from here and onto right around the shin area. And then the 9th head is going to be from the shin onto the feet area. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 heads. And that's the proportion that we're going for. So let's go to our blender. So we could select our character's face here, our head. And yeah, let's go ahead and just make a copy of this. So Shift D to make a copy and just kind of move it. And let's make another copy. Shift D. I could probably just zoom in. So make sure everything is good. Oh yeah, and another thing is I actually I'm not feeling, I think I want to make the jaw a little longer. So I'm going to delete the face. I'm going to go back and adjust the jaw a bit. I feel like the jaw needs to be a little longer. So any adjustment to the length of the face or the width of the character's face, I suggest that you do it now before you do the proportion thing. Yeah, but this I just want to kind of make it longer a bit. And I'm going to just kind of mask this area out. Yeah. Yep. So something like that. I think, yeah, this will give it a little bit more life and a little bit more character to him. So it's like a little bit dragging onto his face. Alright, so I think that's the type of kind of chin I'm going for. Yeah, right about like that. Okay, so now I could make a copy of this. So I'm gonna go Shift D. And make another copy. Okay, so I want to make it as accurate as possible. All right, and forehead. So I'm just gonna make 9 of these, 9 copies. And another one. And then another one, of course. Yeah, you might want to have to zoom in to get it as precise as possible. And then here. Okay, so let me count this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 9 heads. Now, yes, the leg might be a little too long, but yeah, that's why we have to use our guide here. So the first head is going to be from the top there. So we got that. Second head is going to be from the chin. Yeah, and on down. Yeah, so right above the nipple, the second head. All right, so gonna go make sure that's happening. So it's supposed to be from the chin on right above the nipple. Probably have to bring this down a bit. I don't like how this is actually purple. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to face set, until face set, and I'm gonna do biomaterials, so it's gray again. I think it's easier to see it that way. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the nipple. Add a little bit of a nipple there already. Okay, and I think, yeah, it needs to be lower because the second head is kind of right above it. So I think I'm gonna have to bring this down a bit. And I'm going to go ahead and mask this area out so I'm not touching the shoulder. And I think I'm gonna crank up the strength a bit. There you go. So you might want to crank up the strength of your brush so that it will be a bit more. So it's a bit more. You can influence the mesh a bit more. You can move it a little bit more, much easier. Move it down. Okay, so that's fine. And then the third head is going to be from right above the nipple on right 1, 2, 3, 4 onto the 4th pack, right below the 4th pack. So if I go here, so that should be from here on right Yeah, it's kind of like above. That's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. And it's gonna be, should be right. Oh yeah, so we're kind of way off there. So definitely got to fix some proportions here. Okay, so I'm gonna bring down the brush size, and I actually gonna mask this area out because this here should be aligning with the 4-pack, because 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I want to just mask this area out so I'm not touching this, and I'm just gonna use the lasso mask for this. Okay, now I want to go ahead and just move this down. Yeah, gonna have to move that down. So right where the 4-pack should be. So maybe this needs to be wider, the abs. Yeah, I was thinking this needed to be a little bit wider anyways, the ab area. Yep, so something like that. And keep in mind with the abs, yeah, it's a little wide from the start, and then as it get lower, it gets a little bit. Yeah, the abs is more like this shape, so it gets a little bit. It tapers around here. Yeah. So okay, so something like that. So that's gonna be on the 3rd head, and then the 4th head is going to be right here on the 4-pack, and it's gonna be end right above the pubic area. So I'm gonna make sure that the 4th head is ending right above the pubic area. So I think, yeah, this, yeah, not quite. So I gotta lift it up. I gotta make sure this is lifted up a bit. So I'm gonna go to my move brush and lift this up, and I want to make sure that this area is masked out. I don't want to touch this area, and mask this area out. There you go. All right, and I'm just gonna lift this up a bit. There you go. All right, and I think that should be it. Yeah, that's about it. Let me double check. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, and after that is going to be the 5th head. So the 5th head should be from right above the pubic area, and then right here, it's almost in the middle of the thigh, but not quite. It's slightly above, but almost in the middle. So going to the 5th head. So, all right, so it should be here, and okay, yeah, that's okay. It has to be like, yeah, that's like almost in the middle. And let me check this out. Yeah, like almost in the middle here. Probably could bring this up a little bit higher. Yeah, a little bit higher. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's about it, I think. So it's not really like in the middle, but it's just slightly above it. Probably could be a bit higher. So I could crank that up. At the same time, I don't want to mess with this anymore, so I'm going to mask this area out so I'm not moving the alignment for the 4th head. Okay, so maybe move this up a bit. There you go. And probably give him a little bit of more of his friend showing here. There you go. Okay, I want to make sure everything is still proportioned. Even though we're not going to model this part, I want to make sure that everything is still looking normal. All right, and then the sixth head is going to be from here onto right above the knee. So I'm going to check that out. So that should be right above the knee. Okay, so that's almost like it, but probably could move it up a bit. I'm going to mask this area out and then move this up. Probably a bit more. All right, something like that. Yep, that's about it. And then the seventh head is going to be from right above the knee onto right below the knee. Not really quite below, but there's going to be a little bit of space there. You're going to just have to eyeball it. Okay, so looking here, I think, yeah, I'm going to have to move this up. So it has to be all right. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move everything. Yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and select all of these, and I'm going to just mask this like this, and I'm actually gonna make the leg shorter, the overall shape of the leg shorter. Control I and mask this. Make sure I'm not touching this area. All right. Okay, now I'm gonna go to my scale tool and I'm gonna go ahead and mask border. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and scale it in the Z direction. So I'm gonna click the blue box right there. All right, so something like that. Okay, so I want it to so that it's more like, all right, so I kind of want it to align on the knight head here. Yeah, I think that'll do. All right, and I'm gonna go here and just gonna mess around with this a bit. And maybe this could probably bulk this up a bit. It looks a little flattened. There you go. And maybe kind of add a little bit of regularity here. Okay. All right. So now the 8th head, I think that's the 7th head, has to be right below the knee area. Okay, so that's kind of there. And then the 8th head is going to be from right here onto the shin. All right, so that's about it. And then the 9th head is going to be up to the feet. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and unmask this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my object mode and I'm going to just select all these. Actually, I just want to go ahead and combine this. Control J. So I combine all those and I'm just going to go ahead and rename this 9 heads. Proportion. There you go. And I could just go ahead and hide that for now. All right. And I want to go ahead and do a little bit of manipulations here. We're going to further fix this up, but in this video, but right now just minor edits, some minor modifications. There you go. So everything is still looking normal. And yeah. And looking at the butt area. Okay, so the butt area, probably could raise it up a bit. And it looked a little too, maybe a little blocky, so I could kind of fix this up. So to look a little rounder. Okay. Yep, that's the 9 heads guy. And could kind of bring back some of the details that was here. We're definitely gonna have to go back to the muscles here. Okay, I want to go from the side view and make sure everything is good to go. Maybe this could be lifted up a bit, and then this here, I could maybe push this in. There you go. We're gonna further work on the butt later. And I want to go ahead and just hide. I could just hide this here for now. I want to be able to see the side view a little bit better. Yeah, when you hide the arms, you're able to see the overall shape of the body a lot clearer. All right, great. Yeah, looking at this now, I think now that we have shortened the leg a bit, I think the arms now is a little long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to my brush, my grab brush, and I'm gonna mask this out. Mask this, and yeah, mask that. Okay, I want to go ahead and just using my grab brush, I'm just gonna move it. Yeah, move it back in place. Yeah, I'm gonna go here. All right. Yeah, something like that. So the arm is no longer too long, but you could always go back to it later if you need to fix it. But yeah, since I fixed that, you can see that there's a little bit of changes made here, but that's okay. We are still working in low poly anyway, so it's fine. Smooth that out. Okay, maybe a little bit. There you go. Okay, and in the next video, we are gonna go over the muscles again and further polish the forms for the muscles.